Hello, welcome everyone. Here at Fronius International, we are going to present today an interesting topic, Solar.web. The objective of this webinar is to introduce you our professional online monitoring tool, Solar.web, but this time for end users. My name is Adrian Soto. I'm a solar energy trainer, and I'm working today together with my colleague, Hans Pelsa. We are part of trainings and education team here in Austria. And we are also glad of introducing this useful tool. So let's start. So let's begin from top of our agenda. The first part is prepared to provide you with an overview of Fronius products and solutions that the public here presented get familiar with our Fronius inverter and our solutions for sector integration. Then we will continue with a short explanation of what is possible to do and explain the main characteristics of some of the most used Fronius digital tools. After reviewing these digital tools, we will focus then on Solar.web. In general, the content of this webinar is to show you important hints, tricks, and tips to understand and learn how to use Solar.web like a professional. Okay, let's start with this webinar. So first, I want to introduce you the Fronius technology solutions. As we're moving away from fossil fuels to use clean energy, in our case, in the form of photovoltaic energy, which is a cleaner form of energy, but also cheaper, the goal is to use the surplus energy during the day to supply different types of loads in your house. These loads are referred to heating, cooling, and domestic hot water applications. Another solutions inside the Fronius ecosystem is the Watt pilot for e-mobility sector. So imagine that all Fronius technology solutions are integrated. It has the Fronius inverter at the heart, right, as the brain of your solar home system, and we also can use the Watt pilot to charge our electric vehicle. So for this, for example, if the on-pilot is also connected to our system, we can prepare hot water only with surplus energy. So now coming to the section of Fronius digital tools, our interest is to have a simple and intelligent future, and for that, we must develop new skills supported with digital tools. For that, Fronius has prepared multiple apps that are useful to work with our products intelligently. So let's start with the short description of them. Starting from left to right, the first one is Solar Creator. Solar Creator tool assists the installer at an early phase of consultation with the customer to make a clever inverter dimensioning and to create a proposal including multiple Fronius products. Here, the installer prepares in quick steps the right type of Fronius inverter and power class meant for their own PV system. Continuing with the Solar Start app, this tool is meant to be used by installers also. Using the Solar Start app, the installer is able to configure all settings during the commissioning of Fronius inverter. So now, coming to the Solar SOS, is also a digital tool used mostly by installers. Solar SOS is the central tool for troubleshooting and servicing Fronius products. SOS guides the installer step by step during the troubleshooting. So the installer can rely on this tool 24/7 because it's a self-service platform. So next one is the Solar.web. And good to mention is that the Solar.web has multiple benefits, not only for the installer, but for the end user as well. It offers a friendly visualization to keep an eye on your solar home system, for example. So now, coming to the features of Solar.web, it provides a clear display of current values. It provides also the possibility to check on your consumption and production. Another feature is that you have easy access to historical data from the past to make reports and clever analysis of energy profiles, economic assessment, and also CO2 emission savings in a better way. With this feature, the end user can understand how to achieve desired goals when talking about cell consumption, self-sufficiency, or reducing environmental impact using self-produced solar energy. Also, another important feature is the monitoring. And for that, the performance of the solar home system help us adapt our energy consumption to times when solar energy is available. And the advantage is that we have direct access remotely using the Solar.web app. So now I want to present two types of membership to use Solar.web. The first difference from each other is that the basic option is free of cost, and the premium version is a paid subscription in some countries, and in other countries is also free of charge. So here the recommendation is, please get in contact with your local sales responsible, and for that you can learn more on the cost attached to each type of membership. Besides the display of the current energy flows, with the basic option, the end user has access to recorded energy balances up to 3 days in the past. Different from the premium membership, the premium option allows the user to have access to historical data from day 0 over the entire running time of the plant. The basic option provides to the end user the possibility to manage large number of PV systems, also receive automatic notifications and make reports. Solar.web Basic allows you to perform simulations to reveal when it is convenient to make a system extension. In that sense, if the available PV surplus is enough to cover this type of load, like thermal storage using the on-pilot, or even considering the installation of a battery energy storage system, for example. Finally, to keep the components up to date, remote updates of Fronius system components are manageable. Here, the premium version offers greater benefits. If the goal is to make a specific and detailed analysis on the power value, profitability, and cost, it is better to choose the premium version. Another cool feature of Solar.web Premium is the chance to make accurate forecasts of PV energy yield using weather data sourced from third-party provider. In the next part of the presentation, I would like to explain how components are integrated into Fronius ecosystem, how they communicate, and what it is needed to visualize the energy production and consumption. Of course, the use of Fronius inverters is required. This one could be of any type, the Gen 24 Plus for residential application and for commercial installations. The Snap inverter and the Tauro are with higher power classes and meant also for large scale installations. Important to mention is that if we're using the light version of the Snap inverter, it should be retrofitted the Data Manager 2.0. Also, a stable internet connection is a must to keep an active communication of components during the whole time of the operation. For this, you have the option to use LAN cable or VLAN as communication as internet source. Power data values are now collected on the smart meter, then sent to the communication unit of the inverter to be transferred to Solar.web as the last step. I want to make an important note on the location of the smart meter. It is always recommended to install the smart meter direct on the fitting point to the grid. In this way, power flow from the grid and to the grid can be recorded, acknowledging how energy flows happen at this point. To close the explanation, once your system is active on the Solar.web app or platform, you can now visualize all mentioned values using your smartphone or your laptop. So here we have the option to provide you access to Solar.web by downloading the app to your smartphone directly, or to use your laptop to access Solar.web directly on a desktop version. But what are the differences between each of them? The smartphone visualization has less detailed information on the screen. It presents the bubble chart in a different way, but still it is possible to monitor the energy flows from each source, plus the amount of energy consumed by the loads. The self-consumption and the self-sufficiency values are presented in percentage. By changing the history view, the end user has access to the energy profiling by a daily, a monthly, or a yearly resolution. For the next type of visualization, important to highlight is that the end user has access to a more friendly and detailed representation of current values and is capable of making further changes on the settings and features. So now, let's continue to the 3 steps to register. The first step is to create a Solar.web account. It is necessary to do an one-time registration using your personal email address and introducing a password. The installer in this case should also register in advance to www.solar.web.com. It is usual that the installer is the one taking care of this task, but you as a customer and owner of the system, it is important to request a personal account to have access to Solar.web. The second is adding the PV system, either using Solar Start app or directly on the Solar.web desktop version. In the third step, to store the Fronius products inside your account, specific information from the product must be provided. The specific information comes in the form of a data logger ID for the snap inverters or the serial number, also known as the B code for the Gen 24 Plus. This information is unique for each of the devices, and it is displayed while opening the access point of the snap inverter, for example, or it can be also found printed on the technical plate of the Gen 24 Plus. So the last thing that you have to do on this step is to confirm your entries. And once you have achieved successfully registered to Solar.web, you are ready to go. And a special case, or let's call it special step, can occur when adding further devices to the same plan. For example, if several inverters, data managers, snap inverters are integrated in a PV system via LAN or VLAN, they must be added to the existing system. Here on the screen, you can see where to click exactly on Solar.web. So now, on the presentation, we have an important topic to present about access rights and permissions attached to each user role within the system. So starting from the person who registered the system online would be now recognized as the system owner. The system owner can add different components at later stage for system extensions, and he is the one with the right to delete the entire system. He is responsible of providing access to other users, providing hierarchy permissions in this way. The plant supervisor, which has a lower hierarchy compared to the system owner, has all necessary rights to supervise and monitor the plant besides performing other tasks. He can also receive messages in the form of alert, and he's capable to change the password from the inverter. There is also the possibility to have access to the visualization of the bubble chart, or let's say the entire system, by receiving access rights as a guest. So the guest can view energy flows displayed in the bubble chart, as I mentioned. Now, inside the permissions tab, all mentioned rights can be provided. It is only necessary to include an email address linked to a Solar.web account and confirm the type of right to be provided. Next, so an example of ownership change is presented. This is a typical case where the installer has already registered the system online, and now he has to transfer the role of system owner to the customer due to a change of ownership. At the same time, the installer could retain in this way access to the system as plant supervisor. So in this way, the installer can keep an eye on the system, and he can monitor it remotely for maintenance and post-sales services. Great. So this topic will be presented by my colleague. So now that we have included the most relevant hints, I want to pass the presentation to my colleague Hans Pelsa, and he's taking care of showing you how to work better with Fronius Solar.web.
Okay, thank you, Hans. Thank you, Adrian. I'd like to continue now with the actually the views in Solar.web. Basically, first page is always the bubble chart. The bubble chart on the left-hand side, you see the actual power. You see the power produced in yellow. You see the consumption in blue. You see the green energy which goes to the battery, and you see the energy which goes to the grid. If you have all, of course, available, smart meter is always needed, of course, and as well a battery. If a battery is not connected, the battery will just not be shown. When you click on the consumption, for example, you can get more information here as well. So basically, if you have connected an ohm per lot, watt per lot, or whatever, you will also see that in the list when you click on this bubble. Basically, the total power is a total power, and then we sum up the different consumption of different consumers or loads. So that's the first thing, basically. You can also see here the battery values, energy which flows in which direction. This is also shown with the bubble here, and is, I think, very nice, easy to understand. Second thing is the energy balance. When you click on energy balance, you will see the daily view first. So what happened this day? Actually, it is shown of the day with a 1 hour delay. So you will not see the last hour, but you will see everything until 1 hour until this moment. And you can see here the energy production curve. You see here the battery, how this is charged in green. You see the consumption, which comes direct from a PV system in yellow. You see the power which goes to the grid in gray, and in red, for example, the energy which goes to the ohm per lot. In violet is the color which goes to the EV. So when you have connected all of these devices, you will see different colors. Can also happen that you see only two colors, yellow for your own consumption, and in gray your production which goes to the grid. Same view can also be shown in the consumption. So when you click on consumption, you will also see that from the grid view. So basically, then you see in gray color what energy comes from the grid, and in yellow what energy is consumed with all the loads together, so direct. So that's basically the difference what you can see here on a daily view. If you then click on the monthly, yearly, or total view, we'll see on the right hand side the energy energy per day, as well in the different colors, production, what goes direct, yellow, and so on. So here an example with an Fronius ohm per lot. You see here the yearly view, so all over the whole year, every month in total, and you see the power which goes direct in yellow, the power which goes to the ohm per lot to produce hot water, and in gray the power which goes to the grid. So when you click on that page, you will also see then the total view and the total yearly energy which has gone to the grid, the energy which has gone to the ohm per lot, and which has been consumed directly. Total production, in this case more than 4,000 kilowatt hours per year, and the own consumption rate of 80%. So again, this can also be shown in as a consumption. Again, in the consumption, then you would see the what all the energy which comes from the grid and the direct consumption. Next view is the energy balance with a watt per lot. You can see as well here different colors. Additionally, the battery and the watt per lot when it's included, and you will also see the same. You can also do the same things as we have explained before in a monthly, yearly, or total view. Good. The next thing is the system extension with all devices with an on-pilot, watt-pilot, and battery. An example here, you can see here from 2022, all the power, all the energy, which is going to grid, which is going to the battery, which is going to the watt-pilot, which is going to the on-pilot, and which is consumed directly. So also this can be done when you have such a system. Good. Now the yield and profitability point. Whenever you like to see more, and this is now actually a premium service that you can also calculate your profitability of your system. That means when you enter in on the tariffs, all your energy tariffs, the feed-in tariff as well as the reference tariff, the consumption tariff, you can then see in the total view the profitability and the costs for the whole year. So make sure that you enter here tariffs with including a date. So from when it's active until what date. Basically, you can choose the date, end date, whatever you like, and also the tariff, of course. So when you have done this, we will also calculate this. And this is, as I said, a premium feature that you will then see that. Everybody can see first on the first page the earnings. So this is standard, as well the earnings per year, the earnings total. But on the profitability, when you go back to energy balance and the third button is return on investment, you then see as premium service also the real savings. So all you have saved with this energy. So basically the savings, and on the other hand, the yield. So for the part, the yellow part which you feed into the grid, you will get money from the feed-in tariff, and the savings, because with the savings you have reduced your energy bill. So in the total of these two is your total savings per day, month, year, or total again. Last thing here you can see also the expenses. And the expenses, this is the last part here. You can see how much you consume from the grid. Yeah. So here we'll show the customer what the energy bill will be. Yeah, because there is some energy left, of course, and this which is coming from the grid. And here you can see total energy costs and the actual cost of your energy. What is the utility or what is your energy bill, basically. Yeah, that's it from that point. And now we come back to the first page. There is one thing missing, a premium service. This is the energy meteorology. So to see the weather forecast, first of all, as a premium service, and second, also the expected total yield for the next 2 days, 48 hours in advance. You can see, okay, in the next day I will produce 8.7 kilowatt hours, on the next day, for example, 10.6 kilowatt hours, which means that you can see here in Solar.web as well on the daily view a kind of forecast, expected forecast with the weather conditions. Because in this case, for example, we could say in the morning is a bit cloudy, afternoon is more sunny, and you can also see that in the daily view. So what you can expect to achieve in the next hours. Yeah, to the yield forecast, it's very important that same as a premium account, that you can also set, of course, the energy produced from your PV system as well. As a premium, you can select 2 different MPP trackers, and you can also set a different power which is connected to these MPP trackers. So with that, you can also compare the MPP trackers if they're producing, if they're performing well, if there is, or if there's any difference, that you have probably one string problem. So another thing is, so this was to enter data is on the settings, is the contact settings. So enter first your telephone number, starting with plus, then the country code and your telephone number, and of course the language. And then you can also enter here your email address, which is also important because you want to receive reports, for example, or service messages. So you can also click here on this, and with that you will receive on this email address reports and service messages. So basically, your standard should be that the installer is here entering his data, telephone number, and email address. Next part is are the reports. So back again on the first page, you will see here the reporting. This is here, we here creating reports, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever you like. And we send out these reports according to your settings. For example, you would like to see the PV production from the whole month in an Excel file. You can send this data to your email address, and then you will see what's going on. Same can be done with the energy balance and some more, and customized as well as a premium service. You can also see the data then with your whatever you like to see from the smart meter data, from the inverter, other data, whatever you like to see. And with that, we send out this information to you once per month, or per month, or week, or per year, whatever you like. Yeah, next part is the service messages. The service messages are first to be defined to set according to your needs or what you would like to see. So first, the service messages should be sent. Should they be sent or not? Second, the blackout detection, should that be sent or not, and at what time it should be sent. That's also additional information here as well. So that means when the grid is off. Third is when the battery is off. So we here send out a message to you when this is for a longer period. You can select the period, 24 hours or 36 hours, whatever you like, and then we send out the data when the battery is off for this period. As well, same with the inverter. Because when the inverter is switched off, we can also send that data out when this happens for more than 24 hours, for example, to get this information. Yeah, we can also compare irradiation. You can here select different inverters, and we compare the irradiation of these different inverters. When you have more inverters in a system, for example, that we send out here data as well, and you can select a certain deviation, a certain threshold, at what difference of the different inverters you should get an information. Yeah, basically that's very good when you have all inverters in the same orientation. We compare them, and when the deviation is more than, let's say, 10%, 20%, we can expect that there is some problem with this PV array. Yeah, next step is then the service messages. Service messages, whenever you receive service messages, you will see that as well as an alert in your Solar.web. If you click on that, you can see all your systems and all your services messages of your systems. Or you can choose one system. For example, we have now chosen the Fronius energy profiling system in the week 26 till 2nd of October. We can also choose different time here, of course, different period, wherever you like to see all these messages. we can show only the unread messages, and we can all mark them as read as well. So here you will see a list below of all the service messages you have received, and you can also click on the service messages on the left to get more detailed information about this problem, but what appears. So there's a small description as well, and then basically with that information you can then be prepared for your next trip to the customer whenever you visit him, that you know what you need to do. Yeah, next part are the components. So this again is in the settings. Third part is here settings. Under this point, when you click on that, you will see all your data sources and also watt-per-load, on-per-load, energy meter, smart meter, and inverters. And you see if they are all online. So basically, the data source should be online. That's important. If it's a gen, we'll see the pilot number here, and then you can also see here if there's an update available or if there's a later new firmware available. So here, in this case, there's no one available. If there would be one available, you click on the update, select it first, and then click on update. Then it will send out a new update, and you will get this remote updated. So you don't need to go to the customer. You will see that you will get this automatically be done remote from home. You can also see a changelog if you click on the on this button where you see the installed version is displayed. You can see as well which what changes with this new update, and perform as you want, or if you need it or not. Basically, updates need not to be done every time. It is just recommended whenever there is an issue. Please make an update first. Yeah, under analysis, this is on the first page again. We can also see real-time data and a comparison of your inverters. So, for example, in this case, you have more inverters in one system, then you see all the inverters listed here. There are two SIMO 10, for example, a SIMO 5, and two more SIMOs. When they're green, their performing is perfect. When they are yellow, performance is between 10–50%. There's 10–50% deviation. This can be as well when the string orientation is, for example, east-west. Then one of the inverters will show, the inverters can show, of course, different performance. So don't worry about that, basically. If you know, okay, there's a difference, it's fine. If they would be red, of course, there could be more likely that there is an issue with the inverter or with the string or with the modules. Make sure that whenever you do that, that you have also entered the PV power on all these inverters, because of course we compare here the performance then in a percentage of this that we can really compare them. Under history, you can you can also get more detailed data from the history out of this. So here you can find more detailed information. Good. This was the information from the Solar.web. Basically, as a summary, just to repeat once again, create your Solar.web account first with your email address. Add your PV system with the data logger or serial number of the inverter, and then you have it included. Main advantages, again, you can see, you can do a consumption analysis. You know, or customer knows what's going on when is my consumption, at what time. Maybe with that information you can also improve your system. For you as an installer, it's a remote troubleshooting possibility with all remote updates and automatic service messages, which will be sent to you whenever there's any problem. Yeah, and with that, you have your optimized technical support. You are more flexible. You don't need to travel too often to your customer, just when there is a real problem, and you will be able to find out that from home. Okay, that's it. Now, if you need more information, feel free to look on our webpage. Under installer, you will find this installer support, service and support, and installer support button, where you can find all the firmware updates. You can find different operating manuals, different explanations, documents, whatever you need. So feel free to use that. As well, our how-to videos. We have different how-to videos about Solar.web on YouTube. Feel free to watch this. I think it's an easy explanation as well to help you to work with this tool. Good. Then I will say thank you very much for your participation. I hope it was good information for you, and wish you all good luck. Goodbye. Bye-bye.